MILFs, if you have ever spent the majority of your life losing and gaining 10 kilos, 20 kilos, 30 kilos, call yourself a yo-yo dieter, this video is for you. Make sure you stay to the end. That this is all information I've learned from the last 14 years of being a coach, helping people tackle this problem top to tail. So if this is genuinely your issue, grab some popcorn, sit down. We're going to make some sweet, sweet love to some information, and I'm going to help you see exactly where you've gone wrong and how we can fix a lot of this yo-yo stuff that you've struggled with in the past. Yo-yo dieting for mums. So mums, what is yo-yo dieting? We obviously have to define the problem in order to better understand it. So yo-yo dieting to me is one, a big waste of time. So apart from yo-yo dieting being a gigantosaurus waste of time, it's defined as gaining and losing the same weight. So we're not talking about you getting to a brand new low. We're not talking about you doing anything. Could be a brand new high, to be honest. I've seen that happen. But we're not talking about anything other than you gaining and losing the same 10 kilos. Now, I'm going to bet the house that I don't have that you've told yourself, it's okay, I'm happy, only to turn around and do some behavior that would show us you're not happy. Now, this could look like shakes. This could look like fasting. This could look like injections. Okay. This could look like a challenge. Maybe you've done a challenge and I could not stand challenges. Could you imagine doing a child challenge? Right. You raise your kid from 0 to 2 months and you go, okay, that's it. Parenting done. Like, is there something wrong with your brain? But most people think that because they can lose 10 kilos, they know how to keep it off. Now that is where all of you go wrong. Oh, I could lose it, you'll tell yourself. Or I could if I wanted to. What? It's like me saying I could make $1 million tomorrow if I wanted to, but I don't want to. Adriano, no, you can't. Well, this video is going to hit 1 million views tomorrow. No, you can't. So in the same way, challenges aren't going to teach you to do anything better other than do a challenge better. That's it. And probably the next time you do a challenge, you'll be less motivated, so you'll probably do a worse job of that challenge. So let's scrap all of that rubbish. Because why do we struggle with yo-yoing? So we understand it's a big waste of time. We understand the mechanisms that are keeping us stuck in that cycle. Because essentially, you'll lose 10 with a method you hate, but you lie to yourself and pretend to yourself that you love it. Then you hop off the method that you loved so very much and you're so dedicated to, and then you gain the 10 kilos that you lost, effectively wasting 6 months of your one life that you have on planet Earth. 6 months down the drain. Bye, never getting it back again. Now, some of you, it genuinely blows my mind how happy you are to piss your life down the drain. Hurts my soul. I think every life is so beautiful and so sacred. And that so many of you are just willing to just go, it's only 6 months. What? Imagine if it's 0 to 6 months of your baby again and again. Most of you people don't live your life like that. So I want to encourage you to actually be a bit hard on yourself and going, hang on, what the am I doing? Yeah. I got one life, one shot. So why does this typically happen is because we rely on these methods to justify the fact, well, I've done it before, so I can do it again. No. You learn how to lose it. You didn't know how to keep it off. Learning how to keep it off has 1,000 different things that can go wrong. Now, I have had hundreds of mums join my program, lose 10 kilos and think they know it all, only to fall back into the exact same spot or continue to make no progress and settle for obese still. And it, like, as much as it hurts my soul, I just kind of laugh at this stage because I just go, come on, surely we're all adults here. Surely you know that what was effective then, you should probably keep going. Like, no, I know it all. I'm good. I've got it all sorted. So accountability, guidance, structure, hand-holding got you there, and then you got to stop doing the thing that got you there. And you enjoyed it. It wasn't genuinely like, but I digress. Keeping it off isn't going to be found in a 2, 4, 6, 12-month stint. Now, this obviously depends on where you're at. If you're someone that has to lose 8 kilos, you probably need to spend 6 months losing and 6 months maintaining, and then the rest of your life maintaining. But probably set some new goals at the 12-month mark. If you've got, I don't know if you've heard this relationship example, but it's like, if you've been in a relationship for 2 years, it takes you half the amount of time that you were together to get over it. Right? Same sort of thinking. Because you've gone from habits to identity. So this is habits. This first 6 months is habits. This next 6 months is kind of like a pseudo maintenance identity period. Now, habits, doing something enough times that you get it right. Identity is doing something so often that it's impossible to get wrong. Habits, you learn how to do it right. Most of you gals have never even learned once how to eat chocolate and lose weight same time. How to go out for family events and lose weight same time. How to deal with makeup, breakup, kids sick and lose weight same time. That's what our initial part of our program is about, right? But then the second layer, if you're not in our program, which you should bloody be in, but if you're not, the second layer is making it impossible for you to get it wrong, no matter what. It's like breathing air. Some of you probably have the odd difficulty breathing like myself if I in-breathe some soup, goes down the wrong hole even though there's only one hole. Same sort of thing. So we want it to be impossible to get wrong. Now, what most of you gals do, and this is where you all up, this is what I want to help you with today. You stay stuck in the getting it right phase. You stay stuck there. And then your ego says, you've got a good sister, you know what you're doing. It's like, I don't know if you ever raised your kids. You know, your 4-year-old tells you, I know what I'm doing now, mummy. And you kind of look at him and you go, yeah, 4 going on 40. That's you. You're a child in this. And I don't say that to degrade you, but I say that to humble the out of you so you actually make some change and understand where you're at in the scheme of things. Because if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, still struggling with weight, there are some problems that need solving, babes. And that's okay. You're not broken. But if you can't get the basic control, the controllables in your life, like your food, your weight, your health, what can you get good? You can delude yourself into thinking you do other areas good. But I know damn well if you're focused on gaining and losing 10 kilos and you're wrestling with the feeling like feeling good, feeling good, you're not your best. Because I've been there. So you're permanently stuck in the getting it right phase. So what do you need to do? Identity phase. You need to do it for so long, it's impossible to get it wrong. See, I even misspelt impossible. It's impossible to get it wrong. And even then, do you have half a chance of getting weight off and keeping it? It's a big reason why 70% of the population are fat and obese. You're probably one of them watching this. It's a big reason why you're below average or just sitting in the average because you do average. This, if you want to be an extraordinary person or above average, you can do this. Caveat to this part. You need to be fueled by the right things. So your why needs to be strong. And I'm going to run you through the different whys. There's why, running away from pain. Now, these are known as towards or away from motivators. I use them in marketing. So I will create a piece of content that goes, hey, do you want to fit into your skinny wardrobe, Sharon? And Sharon's going to go, yeah, I do. That is running toward the goal of having a skinny wardrobe. And I'll create a piece of content that goes, Sharon, don't you hate being fat? Wouldn't you like to not be fat? And that is being fat, you're running away from. Running away from being fat, running towards being skinny. Away from towards motivators. Now, you will get to a certain point in your weight loss journey where this doesn't phase you as much. So essentially, what's going to happen is if you're a 110 kilo lady and you've lost 15 kilos, safe to say, without sounding like a but I'm going to, your standards when you're 110 kilos are not that high. You're not about to be Kim Kardashian. And I don't say that to be I say that because that's the truth. Your standards are not high if you're clinically obese as a woman, physically. If you had high standards, you'd be cruising at 65 and people wouldn't catch you with a hair out of place. Most people who are in the average zone lose 15 kilos and they go, I'm good. So what you need to do at this stage, and this typically comes at the 6 to 9 months, because bad news is 15 kilos, you're only 6 months of dumb shit away from putting it all back on, from being plus 15. Truly. I'm sure you know as a yo-yoer, that's why I say this. So what you need to do is set new targets and get uncomfortable again. I'm going to tell you right now, the girls you idolize do not believe in body positivity at all. They'll happily keep you suckling on the teat of consumerism, but they don't want you in a place where you're competition. I'll tell you that for free. Most people are happy to see you fat and miserable because they don't want you to change. Stay in the fat, miserable box, Sharon, please. Don't rustle any feathers. We want you fat and miserable like you've always been. Do not change. I want you in good shape and loving your life. This is what you need to do. Setting new goals. Once you hit 95, never satisfied. Now, got off the phone earlier today with a gal who was saying, you know, she had some eating disorder stuff and she was concerned about disordered eating. And I go, well, I'd rather be disordered. I didn't tell her this, obviously, because on a call, you have to be receptive to people's needs and try and understand them. Not my job to insert my opinions. But I'm of the belief that I'd rather be skinny and have an eating disorder than the other way and be fat and have an overeating disorder. You make your mind up. I'm not here to judge. I have my opinions like everybody does. But for me as a health practitioner, someone that likes seeing people healthy, I know mentally you're fat and mentally unhealthy when you're fat, and you're mentally unhealthy, but at least probably maybe healthier than what you would be. I'm a big believer of go of the best of a bad bunch. So never satisfied. Great one. On top of this, something that will never last is self-hatred. So if your juice for moving away from your pain of being fat is self-hatred, it's not going to last. Now, it might be for the first 6 months, you hate yourself. Rock and roll, sister. Cool. We can with that. But what we don't want to do is continue to use that juice, because that is when you will get to eating disorder land. because you're using weight loss as a form of punishment because you hate yourself. This is not going to last. Now, I'm a big believer that you should use, if you've got family trauma, if you've had a up upbringing, use that fuel until you get to a point where you can switch the fuel sources. Because I'm telling you right now, what starts as self-hatred will definitely turn into self-care and self-love eventually. I say that because that is where I am. I say that because that's where a lot of my mamas are. But so many mamas come through the program and start from this, I hate myself, in the look in the mirror, like, then eventually it comes more towards, yeah, I want to run towards health. Now, they might have wanted to run towards that, but I guarantee they weren't waking up in the morning going, I can't wait to play with my kids and have the energy to play with my kids. They're like, I feel fat. This is my scale's gone up again. This is so it eventually becomes self-love. Once we get to the self-love point, we're looking good. So to wrap up, if you want to stop yo-yo dieting, you have to stop short-term and think long-term. That's the only antidote. Okay? It's got to go short-term. It's got to go from self-hatred as the fuel to self-love. And it's got to go from getting it right to impossible to get wrong. That, my gals, is exactly how you stop yo-yo dieting. Oh, and have better standards. And just because you can do it once means all. If you did it once and you can't keep it off, that is a fail. That is not a win. Regaining is a fail mark in a test of life. Now, most people are afraid to fail. Hey, John, no, give me a participation trophy. Life's not going to give you a participation trophy. I'm not going to give you one either. That is a fail. Suck it up, buttercup. It's okay. I've failed so many times. I'm bald. I've failed at growing hair. It is what it is. You're going to fail in life. Understand if you go, cool, I'm failing, but I'm never going to fail again. That is going to be our next switch. Never fail again. Because the only time you truly fail when you're losing fat is when you stop. So gals, to wrap up the wrap-up, you want to go from short-term thinking to long-term thinking. Using the fuel of self-hatred to the fuel of self-love eventually. You want to go from getting it right a couple of times to impossible to getting it wrong. Having better standards. Doing it once means all. It's you'll never fail again if you don't stop. Hope this video helps. I know this is the exact framework, and through working with 1,500 plus mums at this stage, that this boiled down is the best mental framework to go through in order to lose the weight and keep it off and count your calories. I love you gals so much. I only want the best for you. If you're interested in coaching and how my company works, there's a link down below to suss out coaching and that sort of stuff. But until then, hope you guys have an amazing day. Thanks for making the time to watch this video, and I'll see you all on the next one. Big love. Bye.